Hi, my name is Maria. I'm the trigger warning. At some point, I'm probably going to piss all of you off in this video. There's a lot of things, okay, that a lot of us don't need right now. And there's a lot of us that don't want to acknowledge what it is that we don't need right now. Because it's something we want or we have wanted. Basically, it's something that's easily attainable to you right now. You want to jump all over it and be like, sure, why not? But something's holding you back. Okay? If that resonates with you, you can like the video now, or you can choose to wait till later. But at some point, if you've watched, I at least hope you can give it a thumbs up to at least acknowledge that you've seen it, so that it helps the video circulate and hopefully reach the people that do need to connect with the message, that do need to hear what is being said. Have you been listening to what... Have you been listening to it too much? Remember, there's balance with everything. You don't want to listen too much to the stuff people around you say, even the people you adore and respect, right? And especially not the ones you definitely don't want to listen to, the ones you idolize, because your perception's already screwed there because you idolize someone and you shouldn't. And anyone that any of us do, we should all be actively working to dismantle that association between ourselves and this other person and idolization, because we shouldn't idolize anybody. Okay? I don't know why it's important. Maybe, and also you never want someone to idolize you. Please. I'm saying, yeah, again, that movie, Love Potion number 9. When your soul cries out for something, it's like, say you're crying out for money, more money, but what you really need is love. Or you're crying out for love, but what you really need is some form of structure for yourself that, provides you with this, that, or the other, whatever it may be, okay? Or maybe it's that you want, I don't know, I'm seeing it as not being what you think it would be, but being something different. Doesn't mean greater than, doesn't mean less than, just different. When you start saying this is better than that, that's a fucking opinion, my dude. I don't give a fuck. You should never care about the opinions of anyone else. And that's not easy to do, because people's words do affect us, because words are spells, so they're going to, okay? That's why you see a lot of people who go in their lives to being more silent at times, right? Because sometimes what you need is less and not more. And I feel like less might be of significance right now for those that need to hear this message. I'm telling you something about love. And it's, I say love because it's two people who feel some type of way about each other, pouring out, please, I hope you're watching, pouring out into their cup how they feel about another, and the other doing the same. And guess what? It's aligned. It's mutual. Okay? You can love working someone, but think they're a hot mess in the relationship aspect of who their personality is. But you could still have a lot of love for that person as a person. Love is so much more than just sex, you guys. So much more. Hello, conversation, adventure, exploration, theory, I almost said theory crafting, theorizing, what is that, theology? Is it? No, that's not the right word. I don't think that's the right word. I don't think that's the right word. Okay, Roger Wabbit. Not Roger Rabbit. Fuck, Elmer Fudd, but Rascally Wabbit. Yeah. Okay, so rabbits could definitely be of significance here, because I'm seeing different rabbits, different colors, okay? Let's not tie to this one anymore. They did that long enough. But about the whole thing with the lucky rabbit's foot. Yeah, I know. Trigger, I know. I always thought that was awful. Like, why would you hurt a bunny just to take its foot, right? But it's because my generation had not been passed on the knowledge, the knowing of it just being something that was a part of experiencing the mortal realm, right? The physical plane. Because why? Because once upon a time, humans were dependent on things like small game, like rabbits, fish, even squirrel, snake, stuff like that, to survive. Okay? We all need connection as humans. Okay? All of us. Even those of us who don't like people still need connection. Science has proven humans are pack animals. Humans do well and have scientifically inexplicable chemical reactions and stuff that happen within our bodies when we make connections like this, when we're near people that we have connections like this with. Touch. Touch is nothing to be ashamed of. Touch expresses love, like a mother caressing a baby's face to let them know, it's okay, I'm right here, it's okay. Letting them know, soothing, calming. And to anyone who's never had that, fuck, dude, damn, I'm so sorry for you. Because there are a lot of people, and I'm just going to tell you guys, I'm going to call you out. It's your fucking elders. It's your elders. Your grandparents, your parents, the people you love to fucking hate on. They did not experience the tender, gentle touches of parenting in safety and protection that many under the age of 35 have. Okay? So this pain is going to be more predominantly found in humans over the age of 35. At the time of the filming of this, which is it is Monday, February. Is it Monday or is it Sunday? No, yesterday was Sunday. Did I write the wrong day on the paper for today then? No. It's Monday, February the 16th of 2026. Okay? Now, that said, there are many people who did not experience that. I was blessed to have a mom who, yes, while she did let us cry, because she was raised in that whole psychotic, let them cry it out, lunatic doctor-inspired method, who was completely out of touch with what being a parent meant and just wanted to turn us into cattle. She was a part of that generation, right? And so my father, even worse, he was allowed to go entire days screaming in his crib, never being picked up, according to what my mother told me about him. Okay, so when I tell you that a lot of those older generations did not experience that, I really mean that. Okay, I personally myself, at the time of this filming, I'm 45. I experienced it, but a little bit, because my mother, again, was still very much part of that generation. Whereas me with my kids, nobody could tell me not to hold my kid. Nobody could tell me not to hug and kiss and cuddle with my fucking child. Okay? I was the one that convinced their dad to let us co-sleep, because I couldn't do it anymore. I could not stand the separation anymore. I did not feel safe. I did not feel safe, though I was in a completely protected environment where I knew I would be safe. I couldn't feel safe because I wasn't doing what my heart was calling for me to do. And that changed when I did. So now I can look back at that and know I fucked up a lot as a parent, because, nobody gets a guidebook and we're all fucked up. So we're all fucked up parents at the end of the day in our own ways. But I will say, I was always, and still am, very compassionate with my children. Very self-sacrificing. And that is a hill I will fucking die on. If you want me to stop believing that, you're going to have to fucking kill me. Because I believe my children are worth fucking dying for. And I will not fucking change my opinion on that. If one of them is sad, I'm going to be a clown for a year, 2, 3, 5, 20, however long it takes to get that kid to smile again and be happy. If I have to not have a social life at all because all of my time is spent with my family, then that's what I'm going to do. And I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, I fucking regret it. I don't. Because every child is meant to leave the nest. So maybe you're an empty nester, okay? Maybe you're someone who's never experienced that type of close-knit connection with another human being, not genuinely. Maybe what you need is a deep and beautiful friendship, all right? Because let's just be honest, sex has screwed up so much for this realm. It was something that I do not believe humans were ready for yet, the knowledge of sex. So, anyways, moving on, okay? Yeah, moving on. Moving on, letting the energies flow. Do you see the wheel? It is a turning, okay? For those of you who were raised that way, I wish you know what? Fuck it. Let's do it now. Let's heal this past. Let's go back to the past, whenever that was, that maybe you know that you were a baby that was put in daycare from the time you were, I don't know, a week old, because that's how it is in shithole America. And you had to go back to work because you weren't getting paid, right? So you took those few days to be with your loved ones. Excuse me as I wipe my nose here. Crying really clears the sinuses, doesn't it? It's good though. It's a release, all right? And I feel like this, for happiness, and death to no longer being happy, to no longer walking away from things that make us suffer and make us feel like we're being tread on all the time. No, because sometimes what's weighing on you isn't your decisions and how you're living your life. It's other people's fucking opinions. And I hope they fucking choke. Every last one of them. No, I don't care if that is being like violent or this or that or whatever. Fuck you for stealing another human soul's free will and trying to manipulate them. If a woman feels that she wants to be focusing her entire life on her children because that's what's important to her, or if a man wants to do the same, whatever, but fucking let them. Who are you to tell them they can't do that? Who are you to tell them they're wrong to do that? And how they go about doing that is none of your damn business. How any one of us survive in this shithole of a planet that everyone likes to say is, has good people that want to be fair and equal, but yet nobody can seem to fucking treat anybody that way, right? The moment your opinions veer away slightly from theirs, all of a sudden you're this, you're that, you're the other, and and then just like pull back, right? Fuck those people. Let them be the ones out in the world right now in their own fuck shit. Just go let them stew in that shit for a while. Don't partake. Pull back. Stay closer to those connections that actually pour back into you. Nothing else matters at this time. If your significant other is the only one who's ever there for you, and you can acknowledge within yourself right now that maybe you've been treating them a little like shit for a while because you're still mad about something that happened 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 5 hours ago, right? Whatever it is for you. Because let's be honest, y'all, some people, y'all know that little old grandma and grandpa couple, right? That like, or these two old pitties, right? Or like Grumpy Old Men, the movie Grumpy Old Men, where they got these like arguments that have been going on their whole freaking lives just about. Okay? We all know people like that. But this is about fostering and nurturing those connections, fostering care for those connections. Care of those connections, yes, because those are the ones you want to maintain. Those are the ones you want to sustain. Those are the ones that you want to, and I'm just going to say, those are the ones that you want to sacrifice for if you are going to sacrifice yourself for another. Because it should never be expected of anyone to sacrifice anything of themselves for another. Okay? Never. Do all things with love. This is something I tell my kids all the time. Queen of Pentacles, right? And it is, I believe personally myself, that it is a very grounded approach to love. Because if you love someone, you genuinely must set them free. You must allow them to go wherever the wheel takes them, okay? Then not everyone is meant to always be super close-knit, right? Sometimes we have paths that will take us through many different directions, but there will always be those connections that remain, and they're the ones who are meant to remain. So if something does not endure and stand the test of time, then it was never meant to. But look at this. We have the Knight of Pentacles right here. So it's time for those of you that this reading resonates with. It's time for those of you who have always so freely sacrificed of yourself. All right, it's time for you now to slow down. Yeah, dude, look, it's time for you to change and shift into a different energy. Because I feel like something that you have fully devoted to has been slowly draining you. And it's not your fault that it's been draining you. It's just that you needed to learn how it was draining you. And it did take a long process for some of you. All right. So some of you have been feeling this way for a while. Okay. But I always say that the people that endure those battles, those long battles that go through those trials and tribulations that seem to last and span for large parts of their lifetime, or maybe that are reoccurring, those people there, like, those are true soldiers, because they're warriors of the mind, of the heart, right? And you can see by how they like, you see some of them go through shit, right? And the way they treat other people doesn't fucking change. like some of them, it's like, wow, you're still so nice after all this stuff. And then there's other people that you see that they get meaner, they get colder, they get stricter, they get more dominant, more controlling, right? Everything has to be like inspected by them and have their stamp of approval or cannot proceed. But that's so restrictive, and it's so it's a thief of freedom of another's free will, which is why I say that, you know, that's not good. Okay, so for those of you that this video is going to resonate for, I believe it hurts you to pull back from those you love, to like not give at the level that you want to be giving at, even if they're not. But that's where self-love comes into play, because so long as the connections are pouring back into us, we're playing in the ether, right? But when I'm sharing my ether with another and they're just taking it and like using it for all sorts of other things and not pouring anything back, right? Not giving gratitude for the connection, for the experience, for the consistency, for the presence of always being there, right? Of always being there when people need someone to pour into their cup. You've always been there to pour into everyone's fucking cup, but God's been the only one pouring into yours. And it is time for that to change, okay? Because God wants you to see now at this point that the reasons why that doesn't work, all right? Even for parents, you cannot do that forever. You'll create a brat. And I know, again, that's going to trigger a lot of people. I don't give a fuck. It's the truth. Too much of a good thing can be bad. Okay? Too many toxins in the body creates too many sensitivities, too much inflammation, too much... it's like it's a snowball effect, and things just get worse and worse and worse, right? So detoxing the body is the first step that all of us can take to completely changing things, because think of it this way. If everything is energetic, you need something that will symbolically act as the cleansing from within, right? From the soul outwards. So what's the deepest inward that you can go is what you put into your mouth and what you take into your vessel, or what vessels you plug into if you're a man, okay? Whatever you're plugging into, baby, is what you are subscribing to. Please keep that in mind. Whatever you're plugging into, you're subscribing to. And whatever you let plug into you, well, you already know, ladies, you already know. There's not a damn thing on this planet keeping any man around. We've already learned this. And this might piss off some men, and it's okay. It can, baby. That's fine. Feel what you gotta feel, okay? But I'm preaching truth right now. Okay? A baby will not keep a man around. Sucking him off all the time will not keep a man around. Giving him it whenever he wants, wherever he wants, ain't gonna keep a man. None of that shit is gonna keep a man, okay? A man's gonna do whatever the fuck a man wants to do. And the more that man is hiding from you, the more you're probably gonna end up feeling like it was your fault at the end of the day, when really it had not a damn thing to do with you, and every single damn thing to do with them. And the same thing has happened to some really good men out there. See, I had this conversation with a stranger on the internet once, years ago. They had written a poem. It was in the MySpace days. And I replied and a message. I sent a message about it because it was just too much to, type out. But I wanted to like just talk about it and say, hey, I hope you don't mind me giving my opinion, da 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 da. And it turned into an awesome conversation. And the gist of it all basically is that you have good men and good women that go out into the world looking for love for the right reasons, okay? Open to learning the lessons, acknowledging they're not perfect, but still believing they're good enough as they are and deserving enough as they are, right? Because they know the light that shines within them. And then you have those who don't ever even bother looking within because they're so impulsively driven by just, well, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. Gimme, 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 gimme. The users, the abusers, the destroyers. That's what they are. Okay? It's destructive energy. Take, 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 take. Y'all think the ghosts are the bad guys. Why is Pac-Man going around trying to eat all of them? Nobody ever stopped to ask that question? No? Just thought it was okay? Just because they could be the apex predator? They chose to do that, right? And even preying on their own? Funny. You guys need to acknowledge a lot of shit's going to be set straight, okay? Whether you want to or not, I feel you guys pulling back from giving as much as you once did. Why am I feeling this pullback energy, please? Why am I feeling this pullback energy? Justo y necesario. Oof, that's from church. Okay. Just and necessary. Okay, just like justice. Necessary, well, that's self-explanatory. I think we all know what that means. So we're not going to know what's coming or why this needs to happen. Oh, choice. I can't show it to you because the lovers are naked on this deck, but actually... No, because then that covers the mountain, and I want them to see that too. And my finger covering it is the least invasive way that I can think of doing this. Because the boy parts need to be covered, but the girly bits too. Tradition and just, yeah. Well, yeah, that one kind of covers them both. So, there we go. Okay. Oh, I need to be able to see it. Sorry. There we go. I can see it from here. All right. Do you see this card? And you can read all the meanings and all the stuff if you want as well, guys. Go ahead. Oh, sorry. Nip slip. But yes, the Lover's card, okay? Once known as the Choice card, right? Very quickly became associated with love, though. However, love is always a choice. You can choose to say fuck you to love whenever you want, okay? And that doesn't mean that the love is no longer there. It just means that you're like, well, you know, I helped you plant this tree, but now this tree that I helped you plant is literally on fucking fire. So excuse me if I don't want you near my orchard anymore. You, I'm sure, have learned enough from me now. You can go try and grow your own orchard all on your own, right? I hope this is helping you guys understand. Sometimes walking away isn't about not loving somebody. It's about loving them. Yeah, intuition. You're going to be pulling back because you're going to be feeling called to pull back. Yeah. Ooh, you're going to get more defensive over your time. This is your time and your money. So you're pulling back on giving more time and money. So it's like you would probably be someone who used to sit there and maybe listen to somebody go on and on and on for hours or days or whatever, to having the same conversation with you, draining your energy while you just sit there listening. But now you're moving towards less, where you're just going to be like, you know, we've talked about this a few times already, and I just don't want to talk about it right now. So, you know, moving on, and you'll go on from there. And the way people react, well, that's a them thing, not a you thing. And again, with this, the King of Swords coming after that, it's like you're learning that while nothing is wasted, you can exhaust yourself through giving too much in connections. And this doesn't have to be lovers, because I'm telling you, there's so much more to it than that. This can be coworkers, right? Students, kids, family, friends, random people. Maybe if you're like a therapist or psychiatrist or doctor or nurse. Let's see, who else deals with people a lot that has to talk? A waiter or waitress, hairstylists, barbers, um, uh, even dental hygienists, because there are people who won't shut up with all that stuff going on in their mouth. It's like, can you please stop moving so I do not impale you with this drill? Just JK. Listen, I'm more terrified of the dentist than you, I assure you. So, gotta make light of the heaviness, okay? There's more to life than just all of that heaviness. Oh, I see. There's more to life than the heaviness. And you're going to be realizing the more... I'm seeing God being the one pulling you back. Like, you don't even know. It's like you want to say something. You know exactly what you want to say, but you just stand there and you don't. That's what we call God's will. It is silent. It is still. Some of you know that if you said what you really wanted to say, you would break people's hearts. That will deplete you. And I know you're doing it to help them for their own good. That will deplete you. Please check in with your own health. Please make sure that you're satisfying your needs, like brushing your teeth, showering, brushing your hair, making sure, you're dressing comfortably and in ways that are appealing to you and your senses. Make sure that the nutrients that you take in are going to sustain you in a healthy state of being, but also satisfy you, okay? I had to chug that because I don't like when my tea gets cold, and it's already getting cold, but I just felt like this was a very important message that needed to be heard, okay? For some of you, I'm just going to say it. This snapping and saying what's on your mind is going to feel so good to you because you've stayed too strong for too long while remaining silent. And just, it's like allowing the energies to just roam free, right? Ooh, Emperor. There's going to be a new strategy for happiness that I almost feel like the idea of this is gifted to you, like it's divine insight, okay? It's going to require you to see what are you willing to do and not do, right? So if this is a business partner, you don't like doing the financial part or whatever, but they're not good at it, then you both would need to agree to hire a professional that you both approve of. That would be the only just way to handle that situation, in my opinion, personally, right? If this is two people who are friends, how I don't know, you guys, there's so many examples coming up that it just gets jumbled and then my speech goes to shit, right? Because we're not meant to go into these details like that. We're meant to get the gist of the message, which is that you need to, even if you take your time, like literally tell someone, okay, please stop for a minute. I need to say something and I'm working on finding the words for it, but it's about this, and this that you already said, 2 minutes ago before I could get you to stop talking so that I can say this to you. Because some people refuse to be interrupted, but when you interject in a conversation, it's usually because there's a question, right? Or a clarification, it's usually a question. Needing clarification it's a type of questioning, right? What's beneath this energy, please? I need to clear off my desk. I have way too many decks and boxes over here. And I showed y'all in another video, unless I deleted it, I can't remember. I had a freaking Jenga pile of boxes and Oracle with Tarot decks that were stacked all like, and I brought them like this and I almost dropped them and everything. I was like, shit. Unconditional love. If you feel like you're someone who's just been blowing kisses in the wind, don't look back anymore at that stuff. I'm not saying get over it. I'm not. But I'm just saying that looking back at pictures of the past or replaying those pictures of the past in your mind can very much be draining your happiness as well. Okay? Love the past unconditionally. Thank it for what it taught you. Thank it for the experiences that you had, and then just blow those kisses and release the past into the wind along with those kisses you feel you've been blowing. Those kisses aren't in the wind. Those kisses were all meant for whatever that past was, right? But whatever that past was, for whatever reason, didn't seem to catch on to those kisses that you were blowing. And that's now a part of the past itself as well. But those energies can connect whenever they're both ready to connect. You sent it out, right? So now it's time for you to acknowledge that and just receive all of that energy, that love, that compassion, that patience, I feel like I want to say servitude. For some of you, I feel like you were more like servants to people in your relationships than anything. Like you were their counselor, their therapist. For some of you, you were teacher to these people. Even in friendships, like it's like your connections, period. Like you've always had to be the one to nurture other people, but I don't feel that it was nurtured back. Not in the way you needed it to be, and definitely not in the way that you did, because it definitely feels like less than. Yeah, not today. It feels like less than. And I do feel that this is stuff that I don't think you tolerate anymore, but it's stuff that really made you feel bad, like yucky about yourself. Maybe even like, well, am I not good enough? Is like you were questioning, damn, it made you question yourself. And I feel like that's where God came in and was like, I think the fuck not, my child. You are not going to question your own value and your own worth when you were pouring, when what you needed to do was just take away. Now, some of you may have somebody from your past who's addicted to checking in and seeing what you're doing And I know I don't feel like I should have to hide anything that I do, because I have not a damn thing to fucking hide. What you see is what you get with me. And most people can't handle that, because most people themselves don't do that, and most people don't know people that do that, so they can't handle it when somebody actually does. Then they want to be like, oh, well, you're just rude. Oh, well, you're just this, you're that. No, you think I'm that. I'm saying the truth. I'm not, sugarcoating the bullshit just to try to make you feel better about being handed bullshit. I'm just telling you the bullshit. And then I'm also trying to show you that I acknowledge it's bullshit, and that I'm here if you want help trying to figure out how to make shit not bullshit. Yeah. Some of you very much could have a female watching you. I feel like they're addicted to watching you, but never speaking up. There's narcissism energy, and that's here too. And narcissistic energy is just, it's extremely selfish, right? It's self-absorbed. It's literally a person, a true narcissist. Everything about them is one-sided, because that's all they literally care about, is just themselves. And look, self-indulgence. Some of you need to do, some of you need to do, you could do a cord cutting from any, and like leave it, just white. Don't feel anything, don't, put a name or anything like that, right? Yeah. Some of y'all had friends that were just friends with you because of the environments that they could get put in by being around you, right? Like using you for clout, as they say. Some of you could have had friends that, while they were very playful and fun to be around, you knew that, I feel like you can feel the envy. You could feel the envy from this person. That's not a friend. Trust and believe that is not a friend. That's not a friend. That's competition. That's the enemy. So someone who betrayed you is watching. Get some more on this. It feels like there is a show in progress for this person at this time, where they themselves are it's being revealed that they are the monster behind the mask. How does this, why does my collective need to know this? They could be doing spells. They could be, and remember, spells and curses, if you're obsessively thinking about somebody, wishing them ill, praying on their downfall, you are fucking sending spells out. This is someone who could be staying up late. It's almost, I feel like they get bombarded with all of the questions that they have, and everything that's tied to you whenever they try to rest. And I feel like it's because your rest, your peace of mind, that's stuff that this person probably stole from you. Stuff that you had to replace and rebuild on your own, that you had already had, that you were always meant to have, but was taken from you. I have zero fucking sympathy for people like that. I'm sorry. Because those people, those are the takers, right? The takers, the users. They destroy everything because all they can do is take, right? Like the Langoliers, Stephen King, where it was these like things that were just this gaping black maw that they were just chompers, right? And they ate everything. They were what supposedly came and consumed reality, the reality of the past, right? Like it was just always being eaten away at or whatever. But it's giving that, like, that's how this person is. They are absolutely a fool, and not in the good sense either. They're someone. This is someone who, it very much feels like superiority is a part of their energy. Okay. And I guess it's important to hear these key terms like that so that it will help you identify who this person is, for those of you that may not be fully aware of this, right? Because yeah. Never limit yourself and your wealth potential. Okay? Never do that. Never limit that. Period. And never allow anyone else to limit you either. If anyone says, "Oh, there's no way you'd be able to do something like that," say, "Well, I rebuke the curses you just sent towards me, and we got to start speaking to people like this. I don't give a fuck. Well, I rebuke your idea and send that right on back to you, because I know that if something's meant for me, it will be." Period. Nothing personal, but you can keep your shit. That's your opinion. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. I don't need yours. I got my own. Knight of Wands. Yeah, that was very much Knight of Wands energy, the way I just said that, by the way. I just got, yes, I know. Feisty. Spirit knows I'm feisty. Cheers to that, though. Sometimes you got to be a little feisty in life, all right? If you're not a little feisty, get a little feisty, okay? Be like a cat. That zero tolerance for bullshit mentality. Be like a cat. Although some cats, I don't know. I don't know, a lot of pets are medicated these days as well, which is so awful. But, you know, the world's changing little by little. People are realizing that for generations and generations, we've been fed many, many lies. And the earth is calling to us all. So just hold on to hope with that, guys, okay? Soul searching. Yeah. That's what this person needs to do. Whoever the hell this was from your past, they played you. This was somebody who fucking played you. They used you for what? For whatever you could do for them publicly. Like maybe you're the good daughter or the good son, right? Or maybe you're the prize grandchild of the family, for whatever reason they choose, right? Whatever reason somebody else feels like they can claim some sort of entitlement over anything you, because anything you is just about you, right? Sure, they took you to all the practices, right? They took you to whatever, but the performance at the concert, that's entirely you. You did that, not them. Did they help? Yes. But that's it. And so long as we are expressing gratitude to people who help us, And we let them know, you know, I really don't, I don't know that I would have enjoyed learning this performance that I did if it weren't for you being there and making those afternoons bearable, you know, making me laugh after a hard practice or this, that, or the other, you know, stuff like that. That's a balanced connection. But when it's always, I do this for you and I do, it's gaslighting, okay? And I get it. Sometimes, especially if you're someone who gave and gave and gave and gave and gave, and it was just taking away from you, right? If the wheel has just kept turning and you feel like you're getting less and less and less every time things change in your life, please look around, pause, and really, really evaluate your life and yourself and the connections around you at this time. Those closest to you have the greatest impact, okay, on how things change for you, because your energy is tied to them. The company you work for, your energy is tied to that company. Do you work for Disney? Good luck. Do you work for Hollywood? Good luck. Right? Are you in politics? Good luck. Are you a teacher, a doctor? Good luck. There are so many more positions than people realize that have effect in your life. Okay? Where you work absolutely has an effect. Absolutely. So everybody that's been choosing to work for these companies just because they can pay them more, even though it sucks there, but hey, the money's worth it, right? So you just go do what you got to do and then you fucking leave. Yeah. There's still karma tied to that. I hate to be the one to break it to y'all. There's karma tied to that, okay? And this is not me trying to act like any sort of anything, okay? This is me having already experienced a lot of the shit that I'm seeing, and that's why I'm like, good luck, because, you know, yeah, you'll be successful. You will successfully navigate through it, but you're going to have to face the truth, and the truth is going to require you to be strong, to dig deep. This is the card, achieving the strength card. Yeah, 10 of Wands, I could feel it. It's not easy to become strong enough to stand in your truth. There's a lot of shit you have to heal that you don't even want to look at because of how you feel about it, that you still have to process in order to overcome so that you can walk away from the stuff that is just too much. So that you can balance out the energies, ooh, devil card behind that, with the moon. Even if you don't know where shit's coming from sometimes, that's keeping you stuck, 8 of Swords, right? Can't show these because they're all naked, but just know that they're there, right? Then that right there, that is what stabilizes the material realm. Masterfully done, right? Like, every ending happens for a reason, and anyone who leaves you feeling like this, I'm sorry, not a single fucking one of them deserves to ever make you feel this way again. This person's head is bowed in sorrow. They're dressed in black. They're in mourning from all the loss. And they're, who knows, they could be sobbing, right? But they're in despair, sadness, regret, grief. It's the grief. Yeah, this is the grief card. Thank you. This is very much the grief card, right? It's loss. Grief comes from loss. Anyone who leaves you that way, yeah, you should absolutely stand your ground if they ever return ever again. The King of Swords, few see the soft and tender side of the King of Swords, because the King of Swords knows the value of keeping things to yourself, right? Yeah, until you can identify whether or not there is deception. Some people choose to the way that they choose to do that is to not say very much about themselves to people when they meet them. I personally disagree with that. I say throw all that shit out on the table the first conversation you have. If they can handle the bucket of fucking crazy you just dumped out, then hey, they're worth giving a shot. And if not, then they weren't worth your time anyways, and you only wasted a singular date, right? Or a singular hangout if it's just a friend. There. Now, that said, I'm going to close this reading out here, okay? I feel that it started out a little slow, but once I, figured out where this shit was coming from, don't be afraid to pull your energy back, man. Do not, okay? And sometimes when you pull your energy back from the people that you want to be giving it to, sometimes you realize you were giving it to the wrong people. And sometimes you realize that maybe you weren't giving it to the wrong people, but maybe, just maybe you were loving them in the wrong way. You were loving them in a way that you wanted to, but not in a way that they may have needed you to at that time. Okay? And that might not even have anything to do with you. Maybe you didn't know that that's what they needed. Maybe they never expressed to you that that was a type of connection that they needed, right? Whatever it may have been. Again, that's not your fault. It takes two to tango, my loves. Every relationship, every connection, it takes two. One person will never be able to sustain a connection. Why do you think you see relationships where one looks good, like they've, they haven't changed too much from the first picture that the couple has together, but then you have these other couples, the other person in the couple, sometimes with couples that you'll see, they've aged significantly, or their weight has fluctuated crazy, right? You see that there's an imbalance, okay? And others having an imbalance and you being their support can absolutely put you into a state of imbalance. That can take you years to recover, which is why you have to be okay with walking away from people. And you have to be okay with calling yourself out. You have to be okay with being called out. You have to be okay with when you're called out. Even if you don't do so at the moment, you do need to reflect back onto it later and see what they said, and maybe try to reword it in a more civil manner than the way it was said to you, right? And then from there, look at it and see if it changes how you feel about the situation, all right? I don't know. I think I want to delete this one. If I'm being honest with you guys, lately I've been feeling a very intrusive energy in the you see? A very intrusive energy in the collective. Every time I go to connect. So stay prayed up, you guys. Stay prayed up. When you shower, pray. Pray that those are healing waters touching and nourishing every cell in your body. Pray over everything that you use in a day, right? Because you don't know how it's being sourced. Sure, the box on my matches could say that it's eco-friendly, sustainably sourced. I don't know that. I haven't seen your farms. I haven't been there to see how you run shit. I don't trust you. So I'm going to pray over this. May you reap what you sow, and if you're harming the earth or any people in the process, may your downfall be swift and effective. And do that over everything. The milk you drink, the meat you consume, the vegetables, right? How many bees die every year for avocados and for other fruits and vegetables, where they're literally just brought in because instead of planting male and female trees, they only plant the female fruit-bearing trees. because they have no use for the others. But then in people's neighborhoods, all they're planting is the ones that produce the tree sperm, right? The male trees, where you get all the pollen, which is why everybody's starting to get sick and have more allergies, because nature's not able to combine and thrive and do what it does. There's much greater energy work going at play right now, okay, guys? Anchor in, stay grounded. Being a loving, caring person is not a bad thing. Please don't stop doing that. Just make sure that the people you're pouring into are equally pouring into you, because then you will sustain each other, okay? All right, guys, I'm going to do another reading now because I want to dig into this. Who's this watcher? Let's expose them, shall we? See you guys there.